Okay, the next chart is box plot. Okay, we already talked about box plot earlier, right? So I have a I added a Excel file. So right here, right? So go ahead and download that. Let's work on it. So this is a file for automobiles and miles per gallon. So gas mileage data, and it has some more information in there. So Excel has a box plot feature. So if you highlight the MPG column, okay, and then go to insert, if you go to recommended charts and all charts, so you'll see box and whisker plot. Okay, so all charts, box and whisker. Okay, so I'm going to move this. Okay, I'm going to cut that, paste it in this sheet. Okay. We don't need that. Title is MPG, right? All right. So here we have 5 values, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Okay, and that's what is called 5-number summary. Okay, so these are the values. So I'm going to first go and name the column with that as the name. So highlight the entire column, then go to name formulas. Okay, under the name manager area, select create from selection. So then the top row would mean the top row is the name that will be assigned to the rest of the column. Okay. So this column name is MPG. MPG is A2 through A399. Okay. So now it's easy, you can set up the formulas a little bit easier. So min of MPG, right? The first quartile is quartile.exc. Quartile, there are 3 functions, but actually there are only 2. Quartile function is the legacy function from 2000 Excel 2000 whatever, I don't remember when, 10 I think they changed. So the old quartile function was not accurate, so they changed the methodology. So percentile and quartile, they have 2 different ways of computing. One is, okay, well, there is what is called n-1 method and then n+1 method. So we won't get into the details, but the EXE is a more accurate one. The INC is the same as the legacy. The INC formula is the same as that legacy function. So, but EXE is the one that is more accurate. So use that MPG, and you have to specify which quartile you want. So first quartile is 1, and then we have median, that's the midpoint. Okay, third quartile is again quartile.exe, MPG of 3. The third quartile will be 3. Okay, and then you have maximum. MPG. Okay. All right, so that's what you see here. Okay, so that's your minimum is right here, 9, right? And then we have first quartile, and the midline is your median. Okay, so that's 23. Okay, now that one is the third quartile, so that's your box, and the whiskers go based on this. Okay, so you have to compute the IQR. IQR is interquartile range. Interquartile range is the distance between the first and the third quartile. So, and then you multiply by 1.5, so that gives you 1.5 IQR. So that's what you would use. So you would go from Q1, first quartile, okay, go down by the whisker length. So the 1.5 IQR is the whisker length. You cannot go beyond the minimum on the lower side, and you cannot go beyond the maximum on the higher side for the whisker. So the whisker can only extend up to no less than the minimum value. Okay, if the minimum value is somewhere down here, okay, and 1.5 IQR, okay, 1.5 IQR takes this to that level, and the minimum value is somewhere down here, then it's okay, because the whisker length, there is some points that falls even below the 1.5 IQR. So you draw the whisker up to 1.5 IQR, and you plot all the other values that go below that, and they will represent outliers. But if the 1.5 IQR goes below the minimum value that is in the data set, then your whisker length has to be only the minimum value. It cannot be beyond that. So we have to have that or the minimum value. That would be the end of the lower whisker. So that's what we have here. The lower whisker ends at 9. Okay. Now the upper whisker is the same thing. So here we have, okay, we need to use min now, right? Because if the upper whisker goes beyond the maximum value, then the smaller one should be the one that we need to use. So min of the third quartile plus 1.5 IQR or the maximum value. Okay. So when you add 1.5 IQR to the third quartile, you are slightly short of the maximum value. So that's why your whisker stops there. Okay, 44.6. Well, the reason for that there is a reason why that it is not 46.438 and it is 44. That's because of rounding. So when you have not rounding, interpolation, you have to interpolate. So I don't want to get into that, but that's kind of approximately that's what that is. Okay. So and then the maximum value falls outside, so that's your outlier. Okay. So this is the general idea. Okay. Now in